Oh, he's here. Oh, he's just walking away. It's the timing. Glimpse of the bean butt. Well, that's all you're getting today, everybody. So, hello and welcome. Good morning from my time zone. My name is Margaret Pendard. I'm a historical fiction author and eclectic reader, and you are here for our first Friday productivity stream. So, it is the first Friday of July. Maybe some of you smarties figured out that's why we're doing the first Friday productivity stream. I do these every first Friday and final Friday for alliteration. I can't think of an A word that means happiness. But yes, so I just do 2 productivity streams a month. And that is just a chance for us to body double, what they call sit across from each other and help each other get stuff done. So whether that is reading or writing or what have you, we do 3 or 4 sessions or sprints during this 2 hours and chat in between. So hopefully that's something that will help you and make you feel included in our lovely Booktube community. I am definitely going to be working on Sunday stream stuff because I want to do an original tag, which I'm kind of excited about. You may be able to tell because of the glee threatening to break out from my face what it will involve if you've been on the last few streams. But also AgitationAugust details. So just to clue you in, if you haven't heard about it, I do sort of intensive interviews during every August for the past 3 years. This one is going to be about agitation, meaning people who are roiled up and ready to march or have read a book and like woken up to a certain situation. What is that book and what did it mean to you? So I'll be interviewing folks, lovely people coming on my channel every weekday in August. So tune in for that. Yeah, let's see. I had some folks early on. I just wanted to put this in as a reminder to myself to let you know I did have a lovely Truth and Reconciliation on the Climate chat with author Susan Palumbo last Sunday. So that is the link if you haven't watched it yet. We talked about decolonizing both literature because she's a speculative fiction author and has some really great perspectives on that. Queer, BIPOC, author of color, like just really has thought about these issues a lot and put it into her speculative fiction work in a very interesting way. So very excited to see what comes next from her. Cat Paw's here. Let's see if the internet is willing to behave. And of course, that made me dive back into my very long time ago pop culture brain. Jocelyn Carter is here. Good afternoon. Jim is solving my problem with alliteration happiness, channeling my inner Cockney. Love it. And hey, how you doing? So Jim usually reads during these productivity sprints, and he says he's reading The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. Oh, yes, Indigenous horror. This is this the one? I think this is the book of his that I started to read, and I got maybe a third of the way through, and there was a scene that was like, I can't do this. This is freaking me out too much. So I couldn't read it. It was like a scary movie. It's really horror. So I've definitely tested my limits with horror and found where they are. Catpaw says, I am unpicking the stuff I found at a clearance yesterday to make into new clothes for me. Yay! That's a great thing to do during a productivity stream. And by unpicking, I think you mean like seam ripping or, taking apart so you have interesting fabrics to use. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. All right. So we're going to hop into our first sprint, 5 after the hour. So because I know the time now, I will put here 30 and we'll start at the 5. I have a question of the day that I'm going to put in as well. I started a recipe. I finally got bread flour, so I'm starting later after the sprints to make Benji's turmeric milk buns, something like this, like bread, but with turmeric and 5 spice. And I'm very excited about this. So finally, after like 5 days of trying to get this bread flour, that will be my next creative concoction in the kitchen. More alliteration. So Just if you have something fun to contribute, feel free to drop that in the chat. Otherwise, I will mute myself and work on my original tag and see you in 25 minutes. Oh, that passed by fast. Okay. How'd everybody do? That was our first 25-minute sprint. I was working on, so before the family reunion, I was looking ahead. I wrote down a task list of certain tracks of work that I'm doing and the tasks that were coming up so that I could see them in their regularity. So I transferred those to the brand new planner looking thing because it's August and July because it's July. Because it's July and I'm living in August in my head. So yeah. So I did that. And I did some updating of the planner with information. And now I'm transferring my notes from chapter 3, which was June's assignment of the How to Do Nothing-a-thon, to the planner from a notebook because I noticed that I'm in too many notebooks and too many scratch paper pages. And it means that my mind is not acting in the collective interest. So I'm going to try to consolidate. How about anybody else? What did you work on? I was asking about creative concoctions in the kitchen. And later today, I'm going to try making a sort of shakoban, something my nephew has made, and it was really good. It's a little intimidating, but the recipe makes it sound like it's not that bad. The recipe is from A Good Day to Bake by Benji Ebuehi. So excited to do that later today on this nice, cool July 4th. Good day for baking a new type of bread. What else is going on? I am currently filming for the second vlog. So if you are curious, I want to support the secret project throughout the summer. It's just going on for 4 months. You can follow at any level and see the secret vlogs. This is my thing on Patreon. If you just want to see the photos and everything, you could just follow as a free member. But I concentrate here on YouTube on my channel work and on Patreon for like blogs and updates and other things in case people don't really come over here on YouTube. So those are the two main places. What else? I got current reads. I got a reading wrap up. I figured out that that I'm not swapping. So last Wednesday, I was supposed to do a wrap up, which I usually do every other Wednesday. And instead, I did a couple tags that were about TBRs because I'm in the process of transitioning my TBR from Herkid stuff to Clean Slate. Got some feedback, have a new crop of books, and that's very exciting. And I was going to do the wrap up then on Sunday, but then I had this idea for the original tag. So I was supposed to work on that on this sprint and I did not. So I will work on it on the next sprint now that I'm sort of more, once I'm done with this, more consolidated and I can throw away things and then feel more organized. So original tag, I'm tagging some people on Sunday and then Wednesday wrap up next Wednesday. So we'll just offset the schedule. It'll be, instead of these Wednesdays, it'll be those Wednesdays, you know? Otherwise, schedule should be the same as usual. Sunday streams at 10, other Wednesday streams at 10, final Friday, first Friday streams at 10. I really try to make it simple. Oh, cat paw says it's incredibly hot. 33C with a feels like a 47C. That's a huge jump. Wow. I wonder, I mean, it's just humidity that makes the feels like, right? I don't think there's any other gauge that feeds into it. So, wow. All right. That's really hot. Hope you have fans. Oof. All right. So just got books everywhere, which is fine. What else is going on? What else is in my banners that I try to remind myself to mention? I don't think I have anything. Yeah. I've been reading, I've been walking, I've been dancing, been like keeping up with things. I started the Summer of Steinbeck July read, which is East of Eden. It's very good so far. And I'm also reading Emergency Sex, which is one of the picks for Agitation August, and it's pretty hard-hitting so far. I'm not sure what the thematic push is going to be because it's just three people's lives and interesting things happening so far, so I'm waiting for them to converge. So that's interesting. I got a whole bunch of books on the list for Agitation August preparatory reading, so that'll be fun. But yeah, just trucking away. So I think we'll just jump back into our next sprint. Another 25 minutes. So that'll be until 50, 45, 50. No, that'll actually be 0. 25 minutes until bang on the hour. So we'll jump in and keep on working, everybody. I'll mute myself and see you in 25 minutes. And there we go. It is 11 here. So what did you work on? What did you finish? What did you accomplish? I kept working on planning and some of the details for Agitation August, some of the details and preparation for Black Author Tuber Readathon 2026. I had some tabs open for that, so I put that in the planner, in the old planner. But I will remember where to look for it, maybe. Anyway, consolidating is the goal here. What about you guys? What did you get done? We might get 4 sessions in. That would be pretty solid today if we just keep on working. I still haven't gotten to the tag. But I will do that next time. I've got a great thirst upon me because of this allergy medication. I'm gonna have to keep taking breaks, which is a good reminder for you if you are traveling along with us to hydrate. Anyone else working on stuff? Reading? Anything? The outcome of the Wednesday double tag is that my next 2 reads, so I'm reading for Summer of Steinbeck and for Agitation August, but my next 2 discretionary reads, if you will, are going to be The Candid Life of Meena Dave by Namrata Patel, which I picked up very recently in a used bookstore, and The Sisterhood by Courtney Thorson, which I picked up sort of recently at a new bookstore. So 1 fiction and 1 nonfiction. So I allowed 2 winners out of that 10 book pack. They had the most compelling first paragraphs. So that was fun. Catching up on the chat. We had a Morgan Lee pop in. I think she probably stream hopped back out, but said hello. We had a Gary Thomas writer who I haven't seen forever. So hello. Jocelyn said, I just dropped my phone on my big toe, which, ouch. Yep. Ouch. I tried to commiserate and say that I did that with a pint of ice cream. This pint of ice cream was on sale. It's in a plastic container instead of paper. And it was on sale. And I figured out why. Because they sealed it wrong. They had overfilled and it had made some sort of seal with the lid that was impossible to get off. I banged it on the counter. I used a hammer. I used pliers. I tried to use different dishcloths. It was not coming apart. I ended up succeeding with the pliers and peeling back the surround like a can opener so that I had like an inch of no lid ring, and then used a knife to jimmy open the top. It was ridiculous, and that is why I dropped it on my foot. But we got to the ice cream in the end. All right, so status reports. Excellent. Jim says he's up to page 258 of The Only Good Indians of 312. Okay, so you were past the point where I gave up because I was too horrified. So well done. You passed my area of expiration. Ugh. Jocelyn says, what I got done is hurt myself. Oh, well, if it's a phone, it's probably not a lasting hurt. I mean, you can always put ice on your toe. That might help the feelings. But yeah, hopefully no lasting damage. Oh, Morgan is still here, working my full-time job, trying to catch up on things I'm behind on. Ah, okay. Well, good job. Good worker, Morgan. Ugh, I don't want to make comments about like working in this economy, but they're in my head. And Cat Pasta is up to 3 hours and 24 minutes into Dreaming the Hound. Oh, that's right. Whoops, I did it again. You're on the 3rd book of 4. I just finished the 4th book, Dreaming the Serpent Spear by Amanda Spot. So good. It's so good. I don't know how long the audiobooks are. I figure they're pretty long because the books are pretty long. They're like 600 pages. So I think 3 hours, 24 minutes is probably close to the beginning, but I hope you enjoy it. And this, I think, was laughing at my ice cream tactics. I needed tactical gear for this ice cream pint. I'm telling you, Talenti, you done me dirty. But I think my toes are okay. I think my foot is okay, actually. There's not a noticeable bruise, but there is kind of a bump when I feel the area on the top of my foot. So we'll see. I've got all sorts of things like hanging on injuries in my feet. I'm just trying to work with them nicely. So fingers crossed that continues. Oh, it's a 20-hour audiobook. Yeah, so 3 hours is near the beginning. And Jocelyn has one positive, discovered a discrepancy in a scene. Character can't be in a scene and not in a scene at the same time. True. True. Yeah, you can't say both things unless you're talking about an UNESCO type play. Maybe that would work. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so let's do a 20-minute sprint for our third sprint. And we'll put this up. So if we start at 7 after the hour, we'll go till 27. Maybe get 2 more shorter sprints. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself before we jump in. I am going to work on the freaking tag this time. Yes, concentrate, focus. Daniel-san, you can do this. Okay, good luck, everyone. Reading or what have you for 20 minutes. Missed it by a minute. Sorry, everybody. I got involved in a graphic. I was in the flow. Welcome back. We just finished our third sprint. We usually only get 3 in, but I think we're going to get 4 in today. We have had a cat come in and say hello. And Shexy Lady, hello, good morning. We had an Eva come in and say, I'm so sad this is 76 minutes into things, but just cool reason we went to the water park. It opens 90 minutes earlier for members. That's us. And I knew it'd get busy fast. So wanted to mark off the something fun since it's a holiday. Yeah, I feel those quotes. It's a morning day, really. Okay, let me take the banner down because that's distracting me. Well, that's cool. I bet it's hot and you got out to a water park, so good for you. Claim that joy. Claim that joy, friend. I'm working on a joyful thing as well, which is that I have an original tag that I'm going to release on Sunday. I had a list of things and then I thought, well, maybe I'll do an alternative for each of the things, but I'm having a really hard time coming up with books for them because the prompts are very extreme. So I'm making this harder for myself, but I've started making graphics instead of choosing the books. I will have to go back to choosing the books. So maybe I'll do that on our last sprint. But yeah. So what else did anyone work on during that third sprint? I'm going to get my banner changed over to get ready for the last one. But yeah, let us know. Happy to have you here. The first Friday of July. It feels like a national tragedy sort of day after yesterday, but we got to find joy in the other things. So tell me what's bringing you joy. I'll put that in the banner. How about that? All right. So we're going to hop into our last sprint of 20 minutes. We'll go until 50 minutes after the hour. Feel free to tell me what's bringing you joy. Right. Or what you're working on. Kat was pressing flowers and reading a short story for Don't Die July. I love it. Okay. I'll go ahead and mute myself and hop back into work mode and see you guys in 20 minutes. -1. Stretch time. And 50. That is it. 4 sprints. We don't normally get 4 sprints in 2 hours, but 2 25s and 2 20s. Well done, everybody. How'd it go? How'd you do? I did get 2 books. I got 8 out of the 12, so I still have a little work to do, but I need to take a little break and get out of the chair after the stream concludes. So pretty good, pretty good. I'm snap, crackle, popping, everyone. Just good thing I'm muted. We had some fun folks come in after the water park incident. This is where I left off. Kat said, pressed some flowers and reading a short story. Excellent. All right. And I had to look up to get the name spelling right because Kiana at Chexy Lady said, getting to sleep in brings me joy, which fair enough. It's funny. Normally I wake up without an alarm, but today I set an alarm set because I had to prepare for this stream about stuff I wanted to do. And I snoozed twice, and it's only like a 9-minute snooze. I don't think you can change that on your Apple phone. But both times I went deep back into sleep. Like not kind of like drifting and thinking about things and not sure if it's a dream, but like totally asleep. So interesting findings. I don't know what that means. Eva says, I put myself on a stupid 75-day challenge that's meant to start tomorrow, so I'm trying to figure out what the heck that means. Yeah, I don't really get the 75 hard thing. I've seen a few people do it, and I'm like, that sounds like Herculean. Nope, don't need to do that. Don't need that in my life. So this is me looking up Kiana's channel to see how to spell her name. That's a lot of vowels, U-I-A. So I want to make sure to get it right so that I don't mess up anyone else because first impressions make a big difference. Eva's talking about the 75 hard. Past me was so rude. Just funny. Which is a good comment, but I did put the comment of the day was already won by Jim for his alliteration happiness, which I loved. Then waltzed in, only, 5 minutes into the last sprint. Lovely, lovely. He said, I'm nothing if not always late. All right, so our final 4th sprint. What'd you do? Eva says, I ate my lunch, which I am going to do shortly. And Eva says, my announcement is that I'm still reading the same book, but follow me everywhere with the same name for awesome book content. Yay! The same book. You mentioned it, and it looked good, and it's on my list, and I've already blanked. My mind is already blanked on it. Laughing. Me? Trouble? Never. So, Ginger Bibliophile. Finished my short story of the day, contemplating reading more of Ruins. Nice. I loved your vlog. When is the next one? According to the schedule, the next one is, I think it's July 27th. Let's see. I transferred all these ideal dates. 25th. Okay, so I'm supposed to drop it on the 25th. It's in process right now. We'll see. Jocelyn says, I'm still reading A Deal with the Elf King. Oh, that's right. You mentioned that last time. Excellent. Last Friday. The story is not at all what you would expect. Interesting. I do have several expectations that are summoned when you mention A Deal with the Elf King. So curious. Eva says, I'm going to try Herkid 2 too. Oh gosh, but I won't finish it just to direct what I read. Well, that's great. Yeah. Herkid is a really intense readathon that lasts for a year and has lots of different prompts. And unless she's departed extremely from the intent of the first Herkid, it's mostly indie focused and LGBTQ focused in its push. So those are really great goals for reading direction. So maybe I read more than one book a month. I don't know. Hey, There are lots of things going on. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. A Far Better Thing. So the Dickens reference by H.G. Perry. So it's Tale of Two Cities plus Fae. The MC is a mortal servant of the Fae, taken as a human baby and raised in the realm, now living amid the French Revolution. Whenever I hear people talk about the Fae now, I picture the guy who was the elf king in the Susanna. Who's the Piranesi author? Is it Susanna somebody? I can't remember now. But Mr. something and something. It was turned into a movie. Anyway, that character image with the poofy white hair, the actor looks nothing like the character. That character image is so seared into my brain. He did a great job. Noble. Anyway, we're just going to leave that alone. Gareth, hello. Stopping in for a quick hi before we finish up. Getting a taxi to my gig after being at the hospital. Lol, crazy day. Speak soon. Big hugs, everyone. Oof. Oh my gosh. Gareth. That doesn't sound like a good time. I hope you're okay at the gig. Oh my gosh. Jocelyn says, I added 133 words to my work in progress. Well done. Is the character in the scene or not in the scene now? I don't know. That's awesome, Jocelyn. Way to go. Kiana says, took a shower. Got to do that. Yeah, good for the day. What happened that you ended up at a hospital? I think we'll probably hear about it in his next video. Yeah, hoping that's okay for you and has a happy ending. So yeah. So we heard a few announcements, a few recurrent reads, and just coming up next for me, the Sunday stream this Sunday will be an OG tag involving K-pop. So I hope that works out for everyone. Thank you for joining. Find me Sundays and Wednesdays for more bookish opinions. And don't forget to diversify your reading list and take care of yourself, everybody. I really don't love like the highest number of watchers is always like the last 3 minutes of the stream. If you have a way to change that and ideas, please let me know in the chat because that makes me sad. Okay. Bye, everybody. Let me know your ideas down in the comments.